So, yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about spirituality. You know, what does that mean? You know, what annoys me is that, I don't know, I guess I think of myself as a spiritual person. No, I definitely think of myself as a spiritual person, but I don't feel the need to define what that means exactly. Because I feel like spirituality is kind of, in and of itself, a bit of a nebulous phrase. Kind of like the word art, for instance, you know. Like if you talk about art to somebody, they're gonna know like what you're talking about. Well, what's art? I know what art is, but you really ask them to get into the nitty gritty and define it, it becomes kind of vague, doesn't it? And so I think spirituality, like art, is similar in this way. I think because especially it's something that's kind of not necessarily fundamental, but well, perhaps fundamental to the human experience. It's hard to define. What annoys me is that you have people, you know, when you hear the word spirituality nowadays, you might think of, you know, what a lot of people are touting as spirituality, which is kind of or spirituality, which is kind of a new age-y agglomeration of ideas, I guess that kind of were imported from Eastern philosophies mixed with paganism and whatever else someone's focused on. But it's usually woo-woo. You know that phrase Michael Shermer uses a lot, woo-woo. Just bullshit. And I'm not necessarily saying that all of it's bullshit. I don't think we completely understand the nature of these things. But a lot of the people who say that they're spiritual kind of dive head in, or, you know, head first into a lot of BS without really taking the time to really think about what that means, or what the word spirituality means, and what they're really practicing or thinking about. Like I'm not saying that I completely deny the possibility that maybe, you know, there's such a thing, or there's something in the body that's analogous to chakras. But when you say that you're a spiritual person, therefore you believe in the existence of chakras or crystal healing or whatever, it's not really what spirituality is. I mean, if I were an artist, or if I said that I was an artist rather, and I just said, well, I like Dali, I like Picasso, I like Rembrandt, so that makes me an artist. That doesn't really make you an artist. This really isn't what it means to be an artist. That you like a particular thing, or you pursue a particular thing even. Art, again, is kind of one of those nebulous phrases. And in any case, I think that the word spirituality has just been co-opted by, I guess, the New Age community to mean something that it really doesn't. And I think that's problematic, because spirituality is such a beautiful thing. I mean, to me, I don't really like to define it, but it's something, like I said, that in a way is fundamental to the human experience. It's an experience of something greater. And you don't really need to go much beyond that, you know, really say what that greater thing is. Sometimes there is an experience, I would almost say like a transcendental experience of the wholeness of the world and one's place in it, and I would say that that's spiritual in some sense. But of course you have all these phrases that, you know, you get mixed in there. You say, okay, that's a mystical experience, it's a transcendental experience, an ecstatic experience, a religious experience, but then again, ecstasy and religion and mysticism are not necessarily spirituality. Now, another phrase that that gets co-opted like this is metaphysics. You know, you have people who say, you know, they're into metaphysics, so that means they subscribe to spirit science or whatever that page is. But, I mean, metaphysics is a much broader term that kind of refers to a discipline in philosophy. And when I think of metaphysics, at least, I think of, you know, the work of various philosophers. You know, I think of Spinoza's metaphysics, or Hegel's metaphysics, or something of that nature. I don't think of levitation from yogis and shit like that. Even though the word metaphysics literally means beyond physics, it's not the same as, again, here's another phrase, supernatural. What's supernatural? Supernatural is not necessarily metaphysical. There's overlap among these phrases. Mysticism, religion, philosophy, metaphysics, spirituality, transcendental experience. These words and phrases, there's overlap, but you should be careful not to say they mean something that they don't. Or rather, that they mean something specific when they're really meant to be more broad than the way we talk about them in normal discourse. Because I was actually having, I guess, a kind of debate here on YouTube on a video. I can't remember what it was, but I was talking to, you know, one of these hardcore atheist types who's like, you know, fuck religion and all that. But, you know, I was saying that, you know, I think even if you're not religious, spirituality can be important to you. But certainly I've met a lot of people who would say that they're spiritual but not necessarily religious. But this guy just kind of wanted to, you know, bust my balls over this and insist that spirituality doesn't exist. In the same way that he thought that religion was a lie, religion was bullshit, he's like, spirituality is bullshit. That's like saying art is bullshit. I mean, what is there to be bullshit about it? It can't be bullshit because it's not something that's trying to be true or untrue. It's just, it's experiential. In some ways it's intuitive, isn't it? I don't know. But I think we should be careful when we conflate these phrases or say that this is this and this is that. There is overlap. That doesn't mean that one is the same thing as the other.